was chatting recently with someone and we were reflecting on some of the lives of the missionaries in days gone by, and often how courageous they were and how heroic they were. And it's true. This is Mission Alive. This is Roger from the MSC Mission Office. And from our tradition of many of the old missionaries, the mission continues, the life of the mission continues. I want to tell maybe a couple of stories about some of our missionaries. In Papua New Guinea, down into the eastern Papua in Milne Bay, where the mission had just started in the 1930s, then the Japanese were coming, and so the superior there at the time made a decision to pull all the missionaries out. And that's another story also. But one of those missionaries was a priest by the name of Father Norbert Earl. Some of you older people may have heard of him. He's famous. And we used to call him Nobby Earl. Anyway, the move was all the missionaries to be pulled out, went to Port Moresby. From there, in different ways, they came down to Australia. In between, Father Norbert Earl decided he wasn't going to do that. So he enlisted in the Australian Army as a chaplain. Now the story goes, and maybe it was himself that told it because he was a great storyteller too, he fronted up to the officer in charge in Port Moresby. Now he was a busy man because all these troops in Port Moresby were not the regular army, they were the what we used to call the weekend warriors, I've forgotten the right name for them. And he was trying to get them up to standard as a fighting unit because he knew the Japanese were coming. So he was a pretty busy man. So this guy turns up and said he's Father Norbert Earl and that he would like to enlist in the army. So the officer looked at him first and said, "Who are you? What do you want?" They told him who he was. He said he wanted to enlist as a chaplain. And he said, "Who the hell do you think you are, coming here and, wasting my time and trying to become a chaplain here? And what gives you the right to do that?" So Norbert Earl says, I've got a case of whiskey back there." The officer looked at him and said, "Welcome, Padre. Come right in." Now, where the Reverend Father Earl got a case of whiskey was never told. But that was a little bit of the missionary tradition. If it was something that was just sitting around, then you put it to good use. So anyway, Norbert Earl went on and became a famous chaplain, particularly over the Kokoda Trail. And he tells stories himself of his experiences there. And one day, he, up in the bush there somewhere, he and two other chaplains from different churches were walking along in the camp or outside the camp or along a track or something, and this Japanese sniper from somewhere in the bush opened up on them. And he said the chaplain on his right hand side, he went down and Norby went to pick him up, and he said one bullet went through my hat and one bullet went through my jacket, and he wasn't hit. And he did lots of things like that. Some of his tales of what happened on the Kokoda Trail and elsewhere were really, well, they were entertaining because he told him he was a great entertainer, a great storyteller, but it was all quite dangerous. And he did a lot of, great work up there on the Kokoda Trail, and he's very well remembered by those troops and their families and others. And when he retired down there, he had an extensive round of families and friends to visit, which he did very faithfully. So a great man, Father Norbert Earl, MSc, chaplain and missionary. The mission continues today in many different ways, and we're all part of it. Thank you for being with us.